Alright, work from home life. I'm out here on my morning bike ride. That's not what this vlog's about though. Calling all creatives, I'm calling all entrepreneurs, all hustlers. You got an idea, you're doing something dope. This vlog is for you. We starting a business. Yes, you and I, we out here, we starting a business. We about to change the game. Cue the vlog.
Pero like, Dramos made it.
My name is Dramos, and I'm probably best known as the dude that sits next to DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club. And while that's been a dream come true, if we're being real, I'm also so much more than just that. I'm a DJ, a music producer, a TV personality, a radio and podcast host, but more importantly, I'm just a man taking life day by day, trying to make the best of it, while hopefully making this world a better place. And who knows, maybe my story will inspire some of y'all to do the same.
Trying to hit it like a free throw, got him saying, oh no. Bobby just came through with that perico. I'm about to hit him off with them Cinos, got him saying, oh no. Hey yo, Dramos, this shit finna blow up right here. Yo, yeah, why?
Alright, so I'm gonna get into the point of this whole video pretty quickly, but I do want to touch on something because I feel like so much in our society, people like to push their own narrative or what they think is right or what is normal on all of us. And in life, it's just not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. Like school teaches to be good like learners and good test takers and good rule followers. And for someone like myself, like to be real, I never did well in school because I just didn't see the point of certain things. Like certain subjects, I would kill it because I understood that there was maybe some sort of value in what they were teaching us. But other ones, I couldn't be bothered. And I was always daydreaming about something else. I always felt like my time could be used better. And this continued on as I got my first jobs at like 16 or 17. There would always be some friction between me and the boss. And most of my jobs, I would be there for like a year. And by the time I hit that year mark, I would just be like mentally checked out and trying to move on to the next thing. And it wasn't until I got into radio and working for different radio shows and radio stations that I found a little bit more stability when it came to a job. But as we all saw in the last video, that faded out, even being in an environment with people that I consider to be personal heroes of mine and a job that I loved. And I say all that because anybody watching who kind of finds themselves in similar places where it's like you always find yourself, you know, moving from job to job, you're bored, you have some sort of friction with your boss, you're always, you know, knocking heads with one another about the way things are being done, and you're always trying to come up with a better way to do something. I would like to remind you that there's nothing wrong with you. It just means you're probably not in the right environment. It just means that you probably should not be working for somebody else. There are those of us who just don't do well under somebody else's supervision. And by the way, this isn't a knock on anybody that works a 9-to-5 that they love and are good at and has a job and all that kind of stuff. Like, more power to you. I wish I could be that kind of person. I wish I could, you know, find joy in going to a job, clock in, clock out, and go home and be fulfilled with that. I really do. And I just think that there are some of us, some personality types in this life that need to be the number one, right? And that doesn't make you egotistical or any of those things. It just means that you operate better from being in a leadership position. And there are those of us who are just great number twos, great right-hand people, and they are incredibly important to a company, to a job, but that's where they do best. They serve well under somebody else, under direction. Again, nothing wrong with that, but for me personally, my personality type, that just does not work for me. And I say all of that not to be like, yo, if you're one of them people who feels like you can't work for nobody, go quit your job tomorrow and keep it moving. I'm not saying that, but be mindful of something like that and maybe try and allow yourself to indulge in some of the things that actually make you happy and trying to take a risk on starting a project that could potentially put you in a position to do exactly what you want and not have a boss to report to. And if you are of the mindset of someone who feels like you need to be in business for yourself because you're just miserable working for anybody else, you have to be unafraid to say fuck the man. And I'll be real, technically I still work for the man in certain capacities. My podcast, Life as a Gringo, is a partnership with a corporate company, iHeart. I still do work with iHeart helping produce podcasts for them. And there's nothing wrong with that while you are still building upon your ultimate dreams, and that's what I'm doing. You see, as much as I'm the personality type that doesn't love working for other people, we all have to do what we have to do. And as happy as I am right now with those particular projects and with those jobs, I still want to create my own thing. Because at the end of the day, as nice as this journey has has been so far, I'm also still just a number when it comes to these corporate companies, and I know that. I'm only as good as my last podcast. I understand that. So the ultimate protection, the only way to really ever be truly protected in this life is to have your own. Something that nobody can take away from you. And that's what I'm trying to build. I love this quote, one of my favorite shows of all time, How to Make It in America. And they have this line in the first episode. And part of it's kind of become my mantra for this company, for Mind of a Young Lord. And the line in the show, it's like this dialogue they're having. And it starts with the question of, how long are you going to say, fuck the man for? And the response, which we're grabbing onto for this company, is, until we are the man. We're gonna keep building, we're gonna keep fighting, we're gonna keep collaborating, we're gonna keep pushing until we are the man. And for me and this company, that's exactly what this represents. This production company represents us becoming the man. So I'm trying to create something that wasn't there for me when I was coming up, right? Like, I've always wanted to be a part of a community of creative people who have different talents that all collectively work together to help each other build and become even more successful and bring each other's ideas to life. And at the same time, while building one another up and creating amazing, amazing projects, we're also doing something for our community, right? For people of color, for the Black and brown communities, we're trying to give back. That's also a huge part of what I want to do. I not only want to put out content, I want to put out quality content. I want to put out content that actually contributes something positive to our communities. And also when like putting out tangible products, I want those things to give something back to those communities as well. Because what I've realized at the end of the day about my whole place here in this world, I have no interest in being famous. As much as these vlogs and all these different things, you know, give off the impression I'm searching for clout or whatever the case may be, whatever the internet trolls want to say, that's just not the case. I do understand that in order to make change, in order to be able to empower other people, you also do have to have some sort of following. You have to have some sort of a solid platform to go off of. And with that, this whole thing is going to be broken down into two parts as I started, right? The first part being something that I've been working on, that I've been really excited about, that can not only help support this movement that I'm trying to build, but also give back to our communities at the same time. And the second part of it is the fun part, I'm sure, for any creative that's watching, is me giving you the opportunity to have your voice heard. More on that second part in just a little bit. But before that, the first part of this whole thing is believing and supporting in the movement so that I am in the position to help empower others. And we're gonna get into that now.
That's right.
Now I love this quote that I pulled from the Daily Stoic, and the quote is, self-sufficiency is the greatest form of wealth. Meaning, the greatest wealth you can have is being able to make money on your own, not having to depend on anyone to make money. That is the greatest wealth that you could possibly have. In my humble opinion, that means making $500,000 a year on your own is better than getting paid $1 million a year from some company that could just fire you at any time. Now with that said, money is probably the biggest obstacle when it comes to creating a company, when it comes to putting content out that is quality, right? It is getting around the idea of having to fund these projects. So, like I said, we're breaking the launch of this company down into two parts. The first part is support. This company's foundation is going to be all about creatives supporting one another, people supporting one another, creating a movement that is independent of a big corporation, which can happen as long as you have support. Now, with that said, I've always loved clothing, I've always loved fashion, and this brand that I want to build, I want it to be a complete lifestyle brand, meaning the content you watch is something we provide. The music you listen to is something we provide. The clothing that you wear is something that we provide. An all-encompassing lifestyle brand. So with that, I've been sitting on this design probably for like a year. The shirts have been made for a few months, but it just never felt right until now. I have the time to do so, and man, I guess I got over the fear of failing at this point. So a part of this is the support system that I'm gonna need to launch this company. So I wanna show you the first thing that we're putting out there outside of these vlogs, and it's this physical product right here. Now check this out. So these are our first shirt designs right here. Mind of a Young Lord. This quote that I love that I made, it doesn't have to be lonely at the top. Which means we all can succeed. We all can sit at the top of that mountain together. We just got to help each other get there. And right here, 19, whatever year you were born, to infinity, man. The things we're creating will go on forever. So those shirts, I did a limited run to kind of start the first funding for the company. Website is live right now, link in the description, mindofyounglord.com. You can pick those up. And 15% of all of the sales of those shirts are going to go to a charity for inner city youth. So like I said, everything we build with this company will also be giving back to the very communities that many of us came from or that support our projects. And now with that said, my DMs are full of random creatives trying to hit me up to check out their projects. Too many for me to go through. So I wanted to create a pathway that I'm going to check out your projects and pick one of them in the next few weeks to actually help bring to life. And I'll tell you how to do it right now. Okay, so here's the deal. I want to pick one project that I'm immediately going to help get behind and bring to life. I'm going to pick one person's project that I think is great and is a great idea, and I'm going to help bring it to life. Now, before you start sending DMs with more projects, which I appreciate everybody reaching out, it's just been too much for me to keep track of. And also the email address that y'all been sending it to is like my normal work email for inquiries, so it's just been getting way too foggy. I can't keep up with it. So I made an email specifically just for this brand and just for people who want to send me projects. Okay, so it's gonna be right here on the screen, and I'm also going to put it in the description. So I want you have an idea, whatever it might be, a podcast, a video idea, a company, a brand. I want you to send me that idea. And don't send me like some general thing like, yo, I've been trying to get into podcasting, let's work, fam. Don't send me that. Send me a real idea. Like, what is the podcast idea that you have? Take the time to actually conceptualize the idea. How am I supposed to bring your vision to life if you don't actually have a vision? There's 1,000,001 people thinking about doing a podcast, recording a song, whatever it is. If you don't have any sort of proof of concept, how am I supposed to help you? And if you're gonna send me music, don't send me music that is already released. If you have a project that you're working on, you're getting ready to release, that's what you should send. I can't help you if the music project has already been released. On top of that, I'm also looking for people who want to help work behind the scenes. If you are a graphic designer, if you are an audio engineer, a photographer, a videographer, whatever it is, reach out as well and send me examples of your work. And don't slack on this. I'm gonna be looking at them between now and the end of next week, and I'm gonna end up picking a partner the following week. And I'll also start reaching out to people who I think could help contribute to our projects from, like I said, a standpoint of being behind the scenes, editing, design, all that kind of stuff. So get on it. Let's get into business together, and let's keep on pushing until we are the man. We don't need nobody else as long as we're all lending each other's talents to one another to help bring good ideas to life. That's it. And with that said, thank y'all so much for tuning into the vlog. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Y'all know how it is, man. I've seen tremendous growth in the channel from that last video last week, and it's just amazing to see, and I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let's keep it going. Like I say in all the other vlogs, I'm trying to build this platform up to help out others, and as you can see, we're now starting to put those wheels in motion. So the more love y'all show on this, the more it gets put into that whole YouTube algorithm, the more lives I'm going to be able to touch with this new project. So I thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next week with another vlog. Peace.